that because, you know, I do the same thing with music. But I think the thing to always remember is it's like the music is not the person, you know? The person makes the music for sure, but it's not the person, right? Like the person I am is absolutely independent of the music that I make. And the interpretations that other people make, I mean, I can do my best with like interviews and like being concise with lyrics to make sure that they're not misinterpreted, but they're always going to be subject to the person that hears them and what they want to hear, right? But I guess, you know, more than anything at this stage, it's like, you know, you have to be true to yourself and you have to, if you feel like doing something, I mean, with a sense of accountability, of course, you just got to do it because to not do it is like, you know, slapping yourself in the face artistically, right?
Yeah. So, talking about the guest musicians you got on the different albums, how did you find them, or is there any special guest musician who brought a lot of his own music in your work?
Well, there's a lot of guest musicians on Deconstruction, for sure. They're very small parts, though, you know, and I wrote them all, right? So it's like, you know, and that's not to say like, well, hey, I'm a, you know, I'm a dictator about music. But in this sense, I mean, the parts are written. I really just wanted to like get different voices because there's so many parts on Deconstruction that having it all my voice just didn't make sense in terms of how I wanted it to come across. So over the years, I've been very, very fortunate to like have met some musicians that I, of course, love the music of, and but more than that, get along with on a personal level. And so, as almost an endorsement of me doing this, you know, past strapping a lad to like do a heavy record again, it was very important for me to have people say, "No, that's cool," you know, like we support it, right? So.
But I especially like your work with Annika. I think that is really a fantastic cooperation.
Oh, yeah.
Do you consider doing more with her, or is this just a one-time thing?
Well, we're doing 4 shows next week together, right? So, I mean, but I mean, in the future, I mean, God, I so rarely think about the future, to be perfectly honest, other than, you know, every time I do think about it, I just panic, right? So it's like, you know.
Okay.
So in terms of will we work together in the future, I mean, it's the same question I give, or the same answer I give to any question that's about will you do something or other in the future. It's like, well, I have no idea, right? Like, I mean, would I like to? Of course. Annika's awesome, you know.
It's just gonna happen then, or not. You will see.
Yeah.
But if you could pick one special musician out of blue, just one of your favorites, even if it's not realistic, who would you ask?
Oh God, I can't say that I've had the opportunity to work with a lot of people that I wanted to work. I can't think of anybody off the top of my head. Oh God.
I know, difficult.
I have no idea.
Fair.
Something that's in a genre that I don't specialize in, right? You know, I like pop music. You know, I like dance music. Sure, we'll do that. That's next.
Maybe with Katy Perry.
Sounds good.
Yeah, that could be interesting. So now I want to go back just to the Ziltoid time,
Sure, yeah.
because this album really has a kind of fascination for me and for many people I know who just wonder, how did you come up with this guy?
Well, I think that you know, I've got a kid, and you know, I quit smoking, I quit drinking, and all that shit, right? And I think it's very easy to, if you're making music or if you're doing any sort of artistic expression that gets like attention, it's very easy to step outside of yourself and want to become your music, right? Like we're talking about earlier, right? And I think with the amount of time and effort I spend on making music, what it is, you know, like I try and make it like intense, or I try and make it like engaging or emotionally significant or whatever. I spend so much time doing that to a lesser or greater degree I can do it, I think, right? I think I can put across emotions in music that people can relate to, some people. But again, I think that towards the end of strapping, I started getting to the point where it's like, well, it's very gratifying for somebody who maybe wasn't very cool in school or, you know, or whatever, to like listen to the compliments or listen to the criticisms and like want to be it, right? And then before you know it, like the person that you are, you know, the person that your mother knows ends up leaving, and you end up taking on this persona, right? Of, say in my case, you know, Devin the crazy singer or whatever, right? And then, I mean, that's cool and everything if you've got people that are feeding it, right? Like if you've got like people who like the music or whatever that keep saying, oh, no, 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 that's you, that's right, you're our hero or whatever. It's easy to, you know, be all uppity about it. But in the real world, that doesn't carry any weight, right? Like you're just being an idiot. You're being delusional, right? So when I quit smoking weed, I realized that there was a part of me that was like becoming that, and I was just like, oh, I don't want that. I don't want to be not me. You know what I mean? Because then I'm going to make decisions artistically that are going to be based on like following that rather than going, well, I want to make Key now, or I want to make Ghost now, right? So I figured the best bet would be to like separate that identity and like make it a character. And so I could continue to do it in a way, but it just, you know, it'd be very obvious, I mean, on an artistic front, that it's like, that's not me. It's a puppet, right? It's like, you know, he's being controlled by other people's intentions, right? And so that metaphor like works great for me because, you know, I can make him talk and he can be an idiot and he's like, yeah, right? But I mean, like, the thing with Ziltoid is it's like, he's a puppet, and there's the bottom line, you know what I mean? But he's a personification of that kind of like image that a lot of times some people in music and art like want to believe themselves to be. They want to believe that they're not just like a nerdy dude from Canada or America or Vienna or wherever they are. They want to believe that there's some like extraterrestrial, fourth dimensional, like world-saving, you know, martyr or something, right? And I think that Ziltoid is like a great parody of that, because in a way you can like let him be that, and it's all like humor. So you can like exercise like a lot of those kind of like you know, emotional hang-ups by having this like dumb puppet like live it out, right? Yeah. And for me it's like, you know, it's health. It was healthy, I think, for me to like make him, because, you know, then it, you know, because standing back from it, you know, and he's got the stupid hair and he's like, I'm the king of the world and all this shit, right? And you watch it, you're just like, oh, it's hilarious, you know, it's like stupid. But a lot of times you can't see the forest for the trees if you're doing that yourself, right? Like if you're like, you know, pontificating about how great your music is or about how smart you are or whatever, right? Sometimes, you know, if you ever stood back from yourself, you'd just be like, you're an asshole, right? But being able to stand back from Ziltoid, you can say, no, 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 he's an asshole, right? Like,
yeah, that's great. But would you ever consider to do another Ziltoid show?
Oh, yeah. Tons of stuff coming up with Ziltoid. He's got a lot to say, right? He's still got to save the world, right?
So there's going to be another, like at the Tuska Festival, you did this Ziltoid.
Well, there's going to be the next big project I'm working on. There's going to be a couple little things I'm working on, right? But the next big project is called Z Squared, and that's like Ziltoid 2, right? Oh, awesome. And it's like, you know, it's going to be ludicrous, right?
Okay, I'm looking forward to this. So I'm finished with my questions here. Do you have anything else you want to tell to the world?
Oh, to the world? I gotta pee.
Wonderful. So we'll let you go. Thank you very much for your time.
It's awesome.
Thank you.